All right, good morning. Welcome to Ag Talk and Raw, where we talk raw about agriculture and other things. It is now what? May 8th? It is May 8th. I have to make a phone call today or I'm going to have some problems. I guess corn planting, soybean planting has hit full swing here in New Jersey, along with other places in the country, which is pretty awesome because, those things sort of have to happen in order for the people of the world to eat. Yes, the people of the world. American agriculture is, to me, the heartbeat of the world. I mean, it's kind of arrogant to say that, but, we produce a lot of everything here in the United States. And if you're not from the United States, you'll probably, you'll probably say, no, we produce enough here in our country. Well, you probably do produce a fair amount of anything that you're growing in your country, but the breadbasket of the world is here in the United States of America. That's not my arrogance. I don't farm in the Midwest or the breadbasket. I farm here in a little tiny state of New Jersey, where anything that I do really doesn't matter much. And that's the shame of it. Thank you, Teresa. She brought me some water. But the breadbasket of the country is the breadbasket of the world. And we grow wheat, sunflowers, corn, soybeans, and a whole host of other products here in the United States. So, it has been a late spring. I am somewhere around 2 to 3 weeks behind. And made a phone call yesterday for another couple of loads of Nitan or Uran, 32%. And they promptly told me, sorry, Wesley, but we're not going to be able to get to you until at least Thursday or Friday. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? I buy like 15 semi-loads of nitrogen every freaking year, and it's just the cold hard fact that it is because we are this far behind, putting down nitrogen and potash, sulfur. I had a friend of mine, he says to me, he says, I have two people that farm locally that they only want second cut hay. Okay, so the one guy, he's a good guy, really good guy. Worked for me a few years back, part time, just helping me out while I was going through my divorce, and he just helped me out a lot. And he farms some ground down south here, and he is just sick and tired of chasing horse people too. So that was the mainstay of his business. So he's decided to give me his first cutting hay. I put the fertilizer down, and then I take the first cutting off as soon as I can get it off, and then he'll come in and take the second cut. That's what he's going to do. He's going to put fertilizer down. Well, he's partnered up with another fella that actually owns that New Holland disc bine, that 1411 disc bine that I'm going to be repairing here very soon. And the guy that owns the disc bine, he says, well, you can fertilize, you get that fertilized and taken off as soon as possible, and I'll put real fertilizer on it. I'll put real fertilizer on it so that we get a good second cut. And I'm like, well, what the hell are you talking about, real fertilizer? What the hell do you think I'm putting out there, water? And he's like, well, you only put nitrogen down. Well, that's not true. I don't just put nitrogen down. Yes. So anyway, I did put nitrogen down on the one farm. I have to get a hold of the other, my one friend, John, and find out where these other 2 or 3 farms are that I got to get this fertilizer on so that we can get this taken care of in a timely fashion. But the problem is I'm quickly running out of nitrogen. Now, I do have a nurse tank that I can hook up and take off to the fertilizer plant and snipe about 1,800 gallons of fertilizer, if I do run out, which is kind of a load of horse shit that I have to run all the way up there just to get this fertilizer. But I'll do it. I'll do it. I don't care that much. So anyhow, that's just the way that's going to work. For me, I don't really care what they say. I'm just going to go do it, and they have enough liquid there on site that I can grab it. If not, there's another fertilizer plant that I don't deal with too often, or haven't in about 10 or so years, probably more than 10 years. I can go there and grab. Not that I want to, because they water it down. It pisses me off to no end. They get 32% in, run a garden hose in it, and then they just keep taking out and adding water. So by the time you get to the bottom of that fertilizer tank, you're pretty much getting a bunch of water, and I don't like that idea. So, anyway, yeah, I got to get a hold of him. And what I told him was I do put real fertilizer on. He's like, well, what do you put on? And of course, I told him I'm putting down potash and sulfur and, two different types of nitrogen. Actually, three different types. Uran is urea and ammonium nitrate and water mixed together to create 32%. And the ammonium sulfate is, it's ammonium sulfate. It's ammonium nitrate, or ammonium sulfate. So it is an ammonium fertilizer, but it is a sulfate-based, sulfur-based. So it is 210024. That is what that is. And the potash, he's like, well, I don't use that. I use a complete blend. Well, we don't need phosphate here. There's a lot of phosphate still left in the soil from years and years and years of corn and other things. And I'm still seeing extremely high levels of phosphate in our ground. So I do have to make a few phone calls and get that shit together and get it done, and life will be okay. But anyhow, with that being said, let's answer some questions here. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about these questions. These last questions are from the live stream that I did. Planting balls to the wall in Illinois. That was a week ago. So a week ago, that corn should be up through the ground. I know that the boys at How Farms Work, they've been running balls to the wall also. And, getting that corn in the ground. I don't know about soybeans. It's really weird. And I was there, at the How Farms Work to see Ryan and Travis and Dwight and Beth and all of those, everybody that's there. Of course, their wives and girlfriends, too. And, great people. It was a great experience to be there. But I didn't see a grain drill to plant soybeans with. They have the old John Deere grain drill, that little bitty thing. I don't know what they're planting soybeans with. For some weird reason, it eluded me. Whether they're planting with the corn planter or not. Maybe they can answer this question if they're watching. But yeah, I don't know. We here in the East, we use grain drills. Whether they're Great Plains grain drills, sunflower grain drills, or the John Deere No-Till 750 is what I have at a 1590, 1560. I know there's a 1560 around. And it's on 7.5-inch rows. We're not planting wide row soybeans here because of the deer. And, somebody just said good morning. So anyway, yes, I just didn't see any implement of destruction for soybeans. I only saw a corn planter. But you know what? I was so busy I didn't have time to ask what they grow soybeans with, but I know they grow soybeans. So anyway, I grow hay, and I use my 750 no-till drill to put grass seed in. So there's another deal. There it goes. But anyway, I'm sure they will show how they do it. I mean, I've planted soybeans with a corn planter, but I had to go over the field twice. I actually have the soybean tubes for the 7000 John Deere corn planter, and you just drop those in. You unbolt the corn meters, and then you put the soybean seed or small grain seed meters in, and then you can plant soybeans with that. It's good singulation, I will tell you that. They did work very, very well in the corn planter. My problem was it was 38-inch rows, so I went beat twice. I actually planted the field once, turned around, planted the field again, so that I had, 18, 19, 38-inch rows. What is that? 36 and 18 is 36. So 19-inch rows. 19-inch rows. And that worked okay. Wasn't great. We used a bush type of soybean back then to actually fill in, and that was before the deer were so bad. But I planted sunflowers with the corn planter. I didn't use I used the regular finger pickups for that. But anyways, we could talk about last week's video, and I was talking about things that were going on, in my life. And I had some people say, "I don't know how you're not bankrupt." Well, sometimes I wonder myself, and I look at my tax return and I'm like, this is awful, But it is. It's from bullshit. There's things going on in this world that people see a guy that works really hard and has, seemingly an endless pot of money, which I do not, obviously. Yeah, what is this? The surprise isn't. Oh, yeah, I said that there was a surprise coming. Well, there is a surprise coming. I've always got surprises. Come on. I hope the surprise isn't that you are ending One Lonely Farmer. No, I'm not ending One Lonely Farmer. That is just the beginning of One Lonely Farmer. I am going to continue to produce the videos that I've been producing. I'm not changing anything too drastic. I always want to keep things moving with the times. I try to upgrade cameras and things like that. And this is my camera. Everybody's like, oh, wow, the new camera's awesome. But this is the camera. This is the camera that has problems. This is it's a different model of this camera. This is the camera that I ended up buying in the Philippines because someone swiped my other camera. This camera here was, Teresa bought it to replace this one because she dropped this one. This was over $600, by the way. No, the microphones on these, I can't just put a plug-in microphone because these are waterproof. I've actually dropped I dropped this, I think it was this one. It was the one that I had taken to the Philippines. I dropped it in a bucket of oil, pulled it out like this, and it was black, It's like, oh boy. So I cleaned it off with some starting fluid, blew it out, dipped it in rubbing alcohol, like that, isopropyl rubbing alcohol, dipped it in that, got all the oil out of the thing, blew it off with the, like one of those little keyboard things, and boom, it worked. It worked just fine. It was clean and clear and crisp, and nobody ever knew anything different. So cameras are great. This is one of my ancient cameras. I bought this camera back in 2013. It's a Sony, and the problem with the Sony Handycam is that they don't like Apple computers. For some stupid reason, Apple computers don't like Sony Handycam. So I forget how the hell I got this thing to work. I did get it to work for that, but this is literally a brand new camera that was never used because shortly after I bought this one, I bought this computer, or maybe I bought this computer and then I bought this one to go to the Philippines back in 2013 when I went, and it was incompatible. I actually gave it to my daughter, and then she left it behind when she left here, and here it is. So I have it back again because she didn't really use it or want it. So there you go. And I haven't used it in a while, like a really long while, and I'm wondering maybe it might work now. There may be software that I can download to make it work. I don't know. I think it actually works with my editing software now, where it didn't before, because Sony and Apple just hate one another. But anyways, enough of that being said. Yeah, so we're nearing the end of fertilizer application, I believe. I have a lot of ground to get over yet, both with dry and with liquid, and I have places that I have been unable to get to because of it being so god-awful wet. And I don't like god-awful wet. I like it nice and dry to put the fertilizer on, and then it can rain. Let it rain then, but it isn't doing that. So putting nitrogen down between the rain clouds, and that can be a pain in the ass also. So got some new ground I picked up, got some more seeding that I have to get done. I had Joseph over running the disc in the 8530 last night, so that was working out okay. And yeah, so I guess life is good. I mean, we'll get it done. We will get it done eventually. We'll get there eventually. So anyways, with that being said, I guess, the only thing I could talk about here on last week's video, and I believe it was a little more than a week ago, it was 29th of April, I think I posted that one because I've been extremely busy. Life will take you places that you never expect, and you just got to learn to roll with the punches. Carl's always talking about, you don't worry about anything. Well, that's not entirely true. The things I do worry about are very important. The things I don't worry about, obviously, are not that important. There are things that bother me, and I get them off my chest, and life is much easier that way. Bottling up anything inside you is going to become a stress factor later in your life, like heart attacks and things like that. Cancer is also contributed to stress. So I just have these YouTube channels where I can talk about the shit in my life and the things that are going on and the things that I do, and I actually have a pretty nice what do? They do this. Chi, chi, om. You know, that kind of shit, but whatever. Not that I even believe in that crap, but meditation's not for me. Actually, my son Joseph comes along and says, Dad, you really need to meditate so you're not so high-strung. I said, I'm not high-strung. You want high-strung? Go talk to Carl. He's high-strung. That guy worries about the fly that hit his window. Anyway, whatever. You know, not that I dislike Carl in any way. I like Carl a lot. It's just he worries too much. So, anyways, with that being said, I'm done. It's 15 minutes and 19 seconds, and I just think that I've had enough talking here. I do have a successful, video was successful, so I'm just going to go ahead and end this one and drop it in there, and I'll see you on the flip side. Thanks for watching.